Hi friends. So in this video we'll discuss about query ID. So as I already told you, in Snowflake, query ID is very important thing. Okay. Now, like if you want to check the previous state of any query or at which time that query has been executed. So if you want to get the query ID, so generally what we are doing, let me run this query first. Okay. One plus. Let me change it to 9. Okay. I'm just running this statement. So So what is the query ID from here? Where I can get the query ID of this query here from this UI. Okay, let me copy this query ID and let me paste it here for the reference. Okay, now if I want to get the latest query ID, what I can do, I can just run this query. Okay, select last query ID. So in this way, I can just this is the SQL defined function. So Snow SQL query. Okay, now if I want to print the first query which has been executed in this session, okay, so I can just provide this query. Okay, but this will provide me different result. Okay, so this is the idea of the first query which I have executed in this session. Okay, but if I want to check latest query ID, so I have to just run this query. Okay, now let me again this run this query. Okay, why it has been again changed? Why? Because before, let me again show you. Okay, every time query ID will get changed. Okay, copy query ID. This time it is showing E. Okay, let me run this. Yeah, it is coming. So in case if I change this to, okay, to anything, what will happen again? If I run this query, it will show me query ID of this last query ID 2. Let me run this. Okay, so it is showing me this thing. Okay, but but if you see, query ID would be different for this query. Okay, so every time query ID will get changed now. So this is the way to check your latest query ID. Now if I am running any of my procedure, or I can say that any anonymous block, okay, how I can print that query ID? Okay, because this in some of our scenarios, while creating any of solution to our customer, so you might be come up with this scenario. So uh, for some cases, if you have to load that capture that query ID, what you can do? So there is one I can say the Oracle Snowflake defined function we call SQL ID. So what we can do, this is the sample example, what where we have provided two variables here. Okay, and what I have done here, we are just running this query, and after what we are doing, we are assigning uh, query ID of this first query to this variable, and SQL ID of this statement to this variable, and after that we can print this. Let me run this. If you see here, in this way you can capture the query ID. Okay, so there are number of ways to capture query ID, but these are the two possible ways which are provided by Snowflake. So I have just tried to explain you in this video. Okay, so one more thing, so where you can learn all this, because Snowflake provides very good documentation. Okay, let me show you. If you want to learn any new concepts, or parallelly if you want to go through Snowflake, okay, what you can do, you can just go to Snowflake documentation instead of going to any of other if you see here, you can see a lot of solutions and tutorials what provided Snowflake. Okay, so you can go to its documentation. Here you can just go and practice anything you if you want to. Lot of solutions has been provided in Snowflake. Okay, if you see here, Snowflake for data load, if you want to learn this hands-on guide. Okay, now if you want to install anything, because lot of solutions has been provided in Snowflake. Okay, so we have discussed here. Thank you.